Well, this is Baruch, and it's time. This is the third shir that we're going to do tonight. It's World Beautiful, which is so important. The ultimate connection with God. What are we really seeking in this world? That is to connect ourselves, that is our neshamas, which are men, Elokai Memahal, God above us, and to connect that, our consciousness to that, which is, I guess, is here all the time. And here's Rabbi Mimran coming to teach us the resistance from emotional ego. He's been talking about what happens to us, the difference between ourselves and our thoughts. Who am I? So last time we always begin with the blurb from the last time. He said the power of your awareness automatically allows your own conscious soul presence to surface. Again, the power of your awareness automatically allows your own conscious soul presence to surface. It's there within us. That's part of his message. So he's a little advanced on this already. So we're trying to learn how to do this. What is the idea here? Let me see if I can get this zoomed in here. So this is the Orach L'Chaim. At the beginning, he says, we're talking about it's not just so simple because there is resistance from the emotional ego. You want to be somebody, don't you? So he says, it is written in the Torah, love Hashem your God. It is known that this mitzvah is the foundation for the entire Torah. What's the mitzvah? Love Hashem your God. And it will lead a person to true success, since through loving Hashem, this will eventually lead to the vacancy with Hashem. As is written, you shall love Hashem, your God, and cling to him. This is maybe Judaism 101 here. Rabbi Mimran. He says the process we have just described is not at all complicated, yet it is profoundly powerful. It is so simple that a child could learn it, and hopefully one day it will be one of the first things children are taught in school. Once you understand and experience this basic ancient principle of being aware, being the observer of what happens inside of you, you will have at your disposal the most potent transformational tool available. Nevertheless, when you try to break the bonds that tie you to your pain so you no longer identify with it, you may encounter intense inner resistance. So many of us have lived most of our lives closely identified with our emotional ego, and much of our sense of self is invested in it. This means that we have allowed our emotional ego to form us into unhappy people, and we believe that this mind-made fiction is who we are. Again, let me read this again. This means that we have allowed our emotional ego to form us into unhappy people, and believe that the mind-made fiction is who we are. See, mind-made fiction. Now, that's the idea in Kabbalah of what's called chitzonius. It's a fiction that everybody believes doesn't make it true. If everything is a fiction, then that's what's going on in the United States at this time, is that they're trying to change the formation of everything. Anyway, that's where we're at. Mind-made fiction. Of course, this is not true. The self that has been sucked into the painful world of the emotional ego is not stuck there. It has the power to liberate itself at any time. But our human nature will strongly resist this change, even a change for the better. We have identified with the emotional ego for so long that we might be paralyzed by an unconscious fear of losing our identity. Humans naturally want to remain in their comfort zones. Even there is nothing very comfortable, and all that can be found there. It's not that comfortable. We want to be comfortable. Most people would prefer to be in pain, to let themselves be the emotional ego, than to take a leap out of it into unknown territory and risk losing their familiar unhappy self. Does any of this ring true to you? Rabbi Mimran writes. If so, the way to overcome this resistance is observe it within yourself. Observe your attachment to your pain, the peculiar pleasure you derive from being unhappy. Observe your compulsion to think or talk about your pain. If you will make all this resistance conscious, the system itself will cease. Now, this blurb is very small. I'm going to get it down here so we can try to see it as best I can. I don't know that the viewer can see this, but we'll do the best we can here. He says, once you understand and experience the basic ancient principle of being aware. Now, this is an English word, aware. So he says, being the observer of what happens inside of you, you will have at your disposal the most potent transformational tool available. That's read by Mimran. This is Baruch Fleischman, and we are at, let me get this done, the Tikkun Elevator Call Up.